That night lingers in my memory. In the stillness of the room, my sister's voice burst forth, shattering the calm as I sat absorbed in the glow of the television. Luke, where are you? Assist me. Her voice carried a sense of urgency, as though a crisis was unfolding. I sprang to my feet and asked, "What's the matter?" Her voice resonated from the bathroom, tinged with a hint of bewilderment. "I seem to have misplaced my clothes. Would you be so kind as to venture up to my room and retrieve them for me?" My sister was a lovely soul, radiating kindness, yet her memory often slipped away like whispers in the wind. It had happened before, asking me to fetch something for her. Yet this time, the air was charged with a different energy. With a determined spirit, I ascended to my room, rummaging through the remnants of her presence, and then carefully carried the garment down to the bathroom. As I rapped gently on the door, she swung it open just a touch wider than normal, her hand swiftly extending to grasp the clothes. In that fleeting instant, the bathroom light danced upon her pale skin, illuminating every contour of her form that I had never imagined I would behold. Confusion washed over me, and I turned away at once. Yet my heart raced uncontrollably, and that image lingered in my mind, refusing to fade. From that day on, Luke, began to sense a transformation within my heart. She remained my sister, the one who held the closest bond within our home. Yet, the eerie, lingering sensation from that instant continued to linger, drawing me into a vortex of unsettling thoughts. I found myself at a loss, unsure of how to confront her or even the reflection staring back at me. This year, my sister Nora celebrates her 24th year of life. She is a strikingly beautiful and self-assured woman, effortlessly drawing the gaze of all those in her presence. She possesses a slender silhouette, a gentle visage, and most notably, a strikingly defined waist that captures the attention of all who behold her. With a vibrant spirit, she frequently opts for form-fitting attire, whether she's relaxing at home or stepping out into the world. Those outfits seem to accentuate her beauty, and whether by design or happenstance, they quicken my heartbeat each time I lay eyes on them. From that fateful night, the night I caught a glimpse of her in the bathroom through the half-open door, my heart has been forever altered. The soft yellow glow danced upon her fair skin, while the shimmering water cascaded over the graceful contours of her form, etching an indelible memory in my mind. That moment, I understand, was never meant to unfold, nor should it linger in my thoughts for such an eternity. Yet, that feeling, that relentless obsession, clings to me like a spectre, haunting my every waking hour, refusing to depart. Initially, I attempted to convince myself that all would eventually fade away, that the vision was merely a stroke of bad luck. Yet, each night as I settled into bed, the scene from that day replayed in my mind, vivid and unmistakable in every detail. In the stillness of the night, I would find myself jolted awake, a cold sweat clinging to my brow. The wrong thoughts crept in, uninvited, and I fought desperately to banish them. Yet, the harder I struggled, the more fiercely those emotions ignited, consuming my reason like an unquenchable flame. Each day, she continued to dwell peacefully in our modest home, blissfully ignorant of the turmoil brewing within me. Her laughter danced through the air, a melody of jokes and warmth, as she called out to me with that unmistakable, clear voice and simple comfort, now a cherished echo of our shared moments. Yet, in this moment, simply gazing at her, peering into those twinkling eyes or occasionally catching the soft scent, the fragrance she donned enveloped me, stirring a whirlwind of unfamiliar feelings within my heart. In that moment, words eluded me, and all I felt was the undeniable truth that I had drifted far from the essence of who I once was. Her fitted attire added an extra layer of challenge to the unfolding events. As she settled onto the sofa, her long legs elegantly crossed, or when she gathered her hair into a neat tie. As she unveiled her long neck and bare shoulders, each intricate detail drew me deeper into a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. A wave of embarrassment washed over me, mingling with a sense of shame and an undeniable, lingering longing that tugged at my heart. Yet, I endeavored to maintain an air of tranquility despite the turmoil within. I engaged in conversation and shared laughter with her, as though nothing had transpired. I lent a hand with little tasks around the home, engaged in light-hearted conversations about everyday matters, and occasionally playfully teased her just to gauge her reaction. Her smile was a mask, concealing the silent battles that raged within her, leaving me to wonder when the storm would finally pass. I hesitated to meet her gaze for too long, fearing that she might uncover the truth. There was an unsettling feeling within me. One afternoon, after a long day, I chose to unwind in my room by indulging in an adult film. It wasn't the first time I found myself in this situation, but perhaps because of my fluctuating emotions and the recent complexities that had woven themselves into my life. In that moment, every thought shimmered with an allure that was simply irresistible. After watching, I reclined on the bed for a. As my thoughts wandered in a haze, the vivid images and lingering emotions clung to my consciousness, refusing to fade away. Nora's unexpected knock on the door jolted me from my thoughts. "Luke, step outside with me for just a moment. Venture forth to gather the freshest vegetables for tonight's feast." Her voice resonated, a blend of urgency and tenderness, as it always was. I responded affirmatively, paused for a heartbeat, and then swiftly, I rose to my feet, straightened my attire, blissfully unaware of the absence of my undergarments. As I strolled into the living room, Nora's presence instantly drew my attention. She donned a fitted t-shirt that accentuated her slender waist, paired with short shorts that showcased her long, fair legs. Each of those flawless lines left my mind momentarily adrift. The thoughts I had attempted to suppress surged forth, crashing over me like a tempestuous tide. A peculiar sensation stirred within me, a blend of awe and bewilderment that eluded my comprehension. I endeavored to maintain a serene expression, to cast aside the tumult of emotions that surged within me as I made my way toward her. Yet, in a twist of fate, my body chose to defy my intentions. I sensed my little one stirring, and even more unsettling, I completely lost track of the fact that I was without any undergarments. It felt as though every part of me was turning against my thoughts, thrusting me into a scenario that was equally humiliating and beyond my control. Nora suddenly burst out laughing, her laughter resounding loudly in the quiet space. She gazed at me, her eyes brimming with an indescribable emotion. In that moment, I found myself lost in a haze of bewilderment, unable to grasp the reason behind her laughter. "What troubles you? Is there something amusing?" I inquired, attempting to mask my bewilderment, but she only laughed harder, to the point that she had to turn away so as not to look directly at me. "Luke, venturing out in this manner isn't wise for you." She chuckled softly, her hand covering her mouth as she fought to contain her amusement. I remained perplexed, frozen like a statue in the heart of the living room as her laughter echoed around me. I inquired, "What troubles you? Did I do something amusing?" Yet she shook her head, struggling to contain her embarrassment. "Oh, it's just a little something, really. Go upstairs. I'll go alone," she said, her voice wavering, a blend of gravity and a hint of something concealed. I found myself rooted to the spot, gazing at her, a swirl of bewilderment enveloping me. Why did she invite me to accompany her initially, only to now suggest that she venture forth on her own? Uncertainty enveloped me, yet I found myself at a loss for further questions. I stepped back into the room, my mind swirling with a chaotic mix of thoughts. As I strolled by the mirror, my gaze caught, and in that moment, I understood the source of her laughter. I found myself without any undergarments, and my little companion had been proudly standing tall for quite some time. My face was ablaze with embarrassment. There I was, frozen in place, a wave of embarrassment washing over me, utterly unsure of my next move. Her laughter lingered in my mind like a cherished melody. Did Nora come to understand it? Indeed, she did. Otherwise, she might not have chuckled so heartily. But why didn't she express it plainly? What prompted her to quietly suggest that I return to the room? A cascade of questions surged through my mind, quickening the rhythm of my heart. Was she merely chuckling at the absurdity of the moment? Or was there a deeper thought swirling in her mind? As I reclined on the bed, my hands shielded my face, a futile attempt to banish the discomfort that clung to me. Yet, the vision of Nora, her joyous laughter, and that lingering sense of bewilderment continued to linger in my mind. Did she ponder my existence as I did hers? Or was it merely a twist of fate that led me to deceive myself? A weight of remorse settled in my chest. Yet, alongside it, a faint spark of hope began to flicker, drawing my thoughts irresistibly back to her. As Nora stepped through the door, the weight of my recent embarrassment lingered in the air, a shadow of the moment still fresh in my mind. The uncertainty lingered. I found myself nearly convinced that she had witnessed something that had sparked her laughter earlier. The deeper I delved into my thoughts, the more I sensed a heat rising to my cheeks, as though I had just been discovered in a moment of mischief. Yet, I reminded myself to remain composed, to carry on as if nothing had transpired, with a sense of purpose. I ventured into the kitchen alongside my sister, eager to rekindle the familiar warmth that always enveloped us during our culinary adventures. As soon as I entered, I called out as I always do, addressing your back. Are there many souls wandering through the market today? Nora remained facing forward, her voice steady as she replied, It's fine. Though a tad crowded, step inside and lend me your hand. I approached her as she diligently washed the vegetables, a quiet nod acknowledging her task. I settled in and began to meticulously break each branch of vegetable for her, ridding them for the board. In the stillness of the space, the only sound that broke the silence was the gentle trickle of water cascading from the sink faucet. Yet, deep within me, the tension continued to bubble beneath the surface. I was uncertain whether she truly grasped the events that had just unfolded, or if I was merely weaving a web of complexity around us. I believed that if I let it slip away from my lips, all would fade into the background, unnoticed. But right at that moment, her voice echoed, causing me to tense up. Are you finished yet? I was taken aback. Her words struck me like a thunderclap, reverberating through my already fragile thoughts. Though I grasped the essence of her implication, I lacked the bravery to confront it. My entire being came to a standstill, caught in the web of uncertainty, unsure of how to respond. My heart raced, yet I feigned ignorance, attempting to mask my understanding of her true meaning. I have completed the task of breaking it. It ought to be fine, shouldn't it? She glanced my way, her eyes sparkling with a playful and enigmatic allure. She smiled and nodded slightly. Well, if you're done, leave it there. I can continue. Her voice sounded very normal. Yet, there was an oddity woven into her words that I couldn't quite shake off, with a hint of jest and a touch of whimsy. It left me feeling profoundly embarrassed. I remained silent, simply nodding before rising to my feet. Allow me to ascend the stairs while you carry on. I find myself feeling a bit weary. Nora offered a subtle smile, her lips curving just enough to hint at unspoken thoughts. Yet she chose to remain silent, leaving me air thick with anticipation. I slipped away from the kitchen, attempting to move with ease, yet my heart was a storm of emotions. Upon returning to my room, I fell onto the bed, overwhelmed by a wave of shame and embarrassment. Her question lingered in my mind, a haunting refrain, and I found myself pondering whether she truly grasped the thoughts swirling within me. As I reclined on the bed, my hands shielded my face, a swirl of confusion and helplessness enveloping me. I must find a way to master my impulses. Nora is my sister, and she is truly special to me. I echoed it as a gentle nudge, yet the vision of her in the kitchen, her smile and playful voice, lingered in my mind, refusing to fade away. As the evening settled in, following the family's dinner, I made my way back to my room, intent on tidying up the little mess that had gathered in the corner of my desk. The stillness enveloped the room, with only the gentle chorus of insects serenading from outside the window as I was engaged in the task of organizing my books. A gentle knock at the door caught my attention. "Who is it?" I inquired, my tone laced with intrigue. "It's me, Nora." Her voice floated in, gentle and knowing. "Would you be so kind? Could you lend me a hand with something?" I responded swiftly. "Not an issue at all. What do you need?" As I spoke, I walked to the door and opened it. Before me stood Nora. Yet it was her pajamas that first captured my gaze. It was a light blue silk nightgown, soft and elegant, embracing her smooth white skin with a tender touch. The dress featured a subtly deep V-neck, gracefully showcasing a hint of her collarbone and the elegance of her slender shoulders. In that moment, my heart raced. Her fleeting pause in time. I endeavored to maintain an expression of calm. With a warm smile, she stepped into the room, her phone in hand. "There seems to be an issue with my phone. Each time I venture into the app, it seems to meet its untimely end, leaving me puzzled as to why this keeps happening." In my quest for resolution, I attempted to restart it. Yet alas, my efforts were in vain. "Would you be able to lend me a hand?" I nodded, accepting the phone from her hand. "Allow me to give it a go. It's likely just a glitch in the software, perhaps a clash between an application or a recent update to the operating system." Nora stood there, as effortless as the dawn. Yet her presence in this cozy room, particularly in her pajamas, stirred a whirlwind of confusion within me. I gazed. I leaned down to my phone and began to explore the settings. As I had anticipated, her operating system was outdated and clashed with the latest version of the application. Text I shared that your phone is in need of an operating system update. Allow me to download the latest update, reinstall it, and all will be well. Oh, truly. Thank goodness. I was afraid it was broken, she said, a voice gentle and at ease. Once upon a time, in a world filled with wonders, I embarked on a journey. Bent down, grappling with the download of the update, I sensed her gaze upon me. I cast a fleeting look at her from the edge of my vision. Her gaze wasn't fixed on the phone or my actions. Yet her eyes were directed downwards, resting upon me. Then, in an instant, she smiled a smile that held secrets, one that eluded my grasp. I took a moment, striving to conceal my discomfort. Yet, within me, my bewilderment had grown to an overwhelming degree. I recognized that gaze, understood the weight of what she had just witnessed. Yet, I found myself too hesitant to confront it or speak it aloud. With a hesitant voice, I managed to reinstall it, attempting to ease the tension that hung in the air. Oh, that quickly. Thank you, she responded, a subtle smile lingering on her lips. She reclaimed the phone from my grasp, her eyes flickering momentarily to my face, as if seeking to measure my response. It's just a fleeting moment. It was merely a tiny oversight, I responded, striving to maintain my composure. Yet, beneath the surface, I understood that the tranquility was merely a mask. This evening, her appearance and subtle movements stirred within me a tumult of feelings that felt almost overwhelming. Once I passed the phone to Nora, believing that the chapter had closed, I readied myself to rise and escort her from the room. Before I could utter a word, she pivoted gracefully, resting against a table's edge, a voice a gentle whisper filled with significance. "Do I look beautiful, Luke?" The sudden inquiry caught me off guard, leaving me momentarily speechless. unsure of how to respond. I smiled with a hint of awkwardness, searching for a way to divert attention. It's beautiful, isn't it? What has prompted you to ask that all of a sudden? Is there a tale of trouble brewing? Nora smiled, her eyes still fixed on me with an intensity that drew me in, as if seeking to understand my response. Then she tilted her head, a playful glint in her eyes, and asked, "Did you just see me? Is that why you?" Hailed with respect, her words struck with the force of a thunderbolt. A wave of warmth surged to my cheeks. My heart raced like a wild stallion, and my entire being was engulfed in a whirlwind of uncertainty, leaving me at a loss for what to do next. I swiftly shook my head, denying it at once. "No, it's not like that. What are you thinking?" Yet her gaze remained fixed on me, and that subtle smile only deepened my blush. She inched nearer, each step a deliberate whisper, wrapping the small room in an intimate embrace. Diminishing, I took a step back, attempting to maintain my distance, but then she suddenly lunged forward, her hands gripping my shoulders, her face mere centimeters from mine. "Luke, what stirs your fears? We are both grown-ups, and I can sense your thoughts. I've witnessed it all before." I averted my gaze, hesitant to meet her eyes. "Nora, what tale are you weaving now? Cease your jesting. It lacks humor." Yet, she pressed on, inching nearer and nearer. Her warm breath brushed against my neck, sending a wave of nerves coursing through me like never before. "Luke, why are you turning away from me? I understand your desire." Nora's voice was gentle, yet her words cut through my thoughts like a sharp blade. The atmosphere grew heavy, my heart racing fiercely as if it were on the verge of breaking free from my chest. "Don't say it," I urged, my voice quivering yet resolute, a barrier against the encroaching peril. I took a step back, putting space between us, my gaze fixed intently on her. "Are you aware of the words you're uttering? This is not right, Nora. You are my sister." Her eyes sparkled with a fleeting pain, but it vanished almost instantly. She stepped forward, her voice soft, nearly begging. "Luke, be honest with yourself. Your eyes reveal everything to me. There's no need to conceal your emotions. Nor is there a requirement to put on a facade." A chill swept through me, freezing my entire being. Yet my mind stood resolute, unyielding in its strength. With a deep breath, I sought to maintain my composure, even as confusion and fear swirled within me. "My friend, it seems you've missed the mark. That's not how I see it. That's not what I desire. We are brothers, bound by family." She paused, her expression revealing a blend of disappointment and shame, her gaze locked onto mine, probing for any hint that would encourage her to press on. Yet, I maintained my stare, resolute in my decision to prevent her from advancing any further. At last, she averted her gaze, her eyes skirting around the truth as if they feared the weight of what lay before her. Her voice dwindled to a soft murmur, heavy with regret. "Forgive me, but I find myself at the loss to understand the reasons behind my nature. Perhaps it would be wise for me to retreat to my chamber." As she turned and walked away, each heavy step felt like it was pulling the oppressive atmosphere of the room along with her. As the door clicked shut behind me, I sank onto the bed, a sense of relief washing over me, as if I had just weathered a fierce tempest. My thoughts swirled in chaos, with no escape in sight. Nora's words lingered in my mind, each sentence and every word reaching into the deepest shadows of my being. She claimed that I desired her as well, that there was no need for me to put on a facade. The words laid bare the emotions I had sought to conceal, emotions that even I was reluctant to acknowledge. Indeed, she was correct. I could not refute that after those seemingly accidental instances, my mind had wandered to misguided notions about her. Yet, despite the intensity of my feelings, my rational mind held firm, reminding me that she was my sister, and that line was one we could never cross. I grasped the peril that loomed in this moment. Each word and gesture of hers this evening had stirred the delicate line that separated us. Should I lose my grip on reason, even for a fleeting moment, the entire structure would come crashing down, irreparably shattered. In the stillness of the vacant room, I felt the grip of anguish tightening around my heart. I found myself at a crossroads, uncertain of which path to take. Should I cast the shadow of blame upon her? Or should I turn the mirror towards myself for allowing the tides to rise this high? On that particular night, slumber eluded me. As I reclined on the bed, my gaze fixed upon the shadowy ceiling, my mind wandered through the tapestry of events that had unfolded in the span of a single day. The bond between her and me transformed in ways I never could have anticipated. I recalled her gaze, her grin, the paradox of her unspoken thoughts. She was the one I had always held in high regard, the one I deemed the nearest to my heart. Yet, in this moment, the web of complexities had woven itself so tightly that I found myself hesitant to ponder what the dawn might convey. I pondered whether, if I remained in this place, there would come a moment when I could no longer rein in my feelings. I realized that human emotions, no matter how intense, cannot be subdued. The allure may grow stronger if given the chance to linger. Nora lingered in the shadows, a figure both intimate and powerless, drawing me in with an allure that was impossible to resist. Had I not established some distance, I feared that one day, all boundaries would fade away entirely. After a long night of contemplation, I chose to embark on a daring adventure. In that moment, I realized there was but a single path to safeguard both myself and Nora from a choice that could never be undone. In a moment of misstep, I found myself compelled to depart. I found myself at a crossroads, compelled to step away and carve out a space where these swirling emotions could no longer take root. This was not merely a method to address the present. It presents a challenge. Yet it is the sole path to safeguarding the cherished bond we share as a family. The following morning, as the family gathered around the breakfast table, I felt it was the perfect moment to share my intention with them. With a tone that carried both gravity and uncertainty, I addressed my parents, saying, "I believe it's time for me to move out." My father, he set his teacup aside and gazed at me, a look of surprise crossing his face. "What's prompted this sudden desire to go out?" "Ah, the beauty of youth. Wouldn't it be more delightful to embrace the comfort of home for a while longer? Is there a problem?" My mother gazed at me, her eyes filled with concern. "Luke, is something wrong? Or do you find yourself feeling uneasy within the walls of your own sanctuary? Come on. Share your tale with us. Don't hold back." I made an effort to smile, hoping to ease my parents' worries, despite the turmoil brewing within me. "No, Mom and Dad, it seems I've reached a point in my life where I truly feel the weight of adulthood and the call for greater independence. Venturing out into the world seems like a path that will guide me in mastering my own self and equipping me more effectively for what lies ahead." My father furrowed his brow, deep in thought, yet eventually nodded. "If you have made your choice, then we shall honor it. However, keep in mind that should you face any challenges, it is essential to inform us right away. Home is forever the sanctuary to which you can always find your way back." My mother appeared increasingly anxious, yet she remained silent. "It is essential to nurture and look after yourself with great attention. Is there anything I can assist you with? Should you need assistance with finding a house, moving belongings, or anything else, just let me know." I nodded in agreement. It was a comforting realization that my parents did not voice their objections too fervently. Even though I sensed their concern, I held firm in my choice. On that day, my journey began as I sought a cozy little apartment to call my own. Amidst the swirling chaos of emotions, a quiet certainty settled within me. This was the path that would lead to healing for both Nora and myself. I recognized the necessity of carving out time and space to navigate these feelings, to rediscover my true self, and to safeguard the harmony within our family. Through my experiences, I came to understand a vital truth. Emotions may be challenging to manage, yet They are not beyond our grasp. In times of vulnerability, we may find ourselves engulfed by nebulous emotions, effortlessly traversing the delicate lines that define our morals and familial bonds. Yet, possessing an understanding of right and wrong, along with maintaining a sense of reason, are the crucial elements in steering clear of irreversible blunders. Embracing your emotions is a journey, one that reveals the importance of understanding how to navigate them within the boundaries that serve you best. At times, the act of creating distance isn't about fleeing, but rather about safeguarding the deeper treasures of love, respect, and self-worth. The greatest lesson I discovered is that bravery isn't solely about confronting challenges. At times, it involves the wisdom to step away in order to preserve what truly matters. Choosing to step away from a perilous circumstance is not an indication of frailty. Rather, it is a vital measure to safeguard yourself and those in your vicinity from harm. Within this tale, I offer a nugget of wisdom for all to ponder. In the journey of life, we encounter unforeseen circumstances that stir up powerful emotions beyond our control. These emotions, whether they come and go like whispers or linger like shadows, can guide us astray if we lack the wisdom to navigate them with care. Thus, my counsel is to consistently maintain a sense of reason and be mindful of the limits in each relationship. When you find yourself ensnared in an emotional whirlwind that seems to take the reins, pause for a moment and reflect. Is this feeling truly worth sacrificing the invaluable treasures I hold dear? At times, taking a moment for mindfulness and self-reflection and unveil the truth that allowing your emotions to dictate your actions may lead to the unraveling of the very values you cherish. Like the bonds of family, your sense of honor, or your self-worth. Should you struggle to maintain your composure, remember that it's perfectly acceptable to step back or reach out for assistance from loved ones, friends, or a mental health expert. Steering clear of pain is not a sign of frailty, rather, it serves as a shield against deeper wounds. Keep in mind that the choices you embrace today hold the power to shape not only your own destiny, but also the paths of those who journey alongside you. Upholding your boundaries and honoring your morals and values pave the path to a serene and joyful existence. And so, the tale reaches its conclusion. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the tale. Until we meet once more in the upcoming tales.